Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, I've been getting some questions on the G660. What happened to it? Why aren't you running it? Why isn't it, in any videos? We're going to answer those questions today. Welcome to Man Time. The Holzfforma G660 Pro. Man, this saw is actually a really good saw. I've kind of taken a hard line on Holzfforma saws. Basically, don't buy OEM at all costs, and that was kind of that video I put out not too long ago about the best value chainsaw. Holzfforma didn't even come into my mind. It's steel or it's Husqvarna. I haven't had a lot of experience with Echoes. I know, like some buddies of mine have the Timberwolves and the 590s and the 620s and stuff like that. But and they're happy with them. They basically got them because Steel and Husqvarna were priced out of their market for what they needed. Farm and ranch saw. Good saw to have around that you can take down some smaller trees with, do firewood, stuff like that. But so it's kind of the right size saw, right? That 60cc range is going to do 99% of what most people need it to do, and that's why I picked that 61 as my best value chainsaw for the money. But there are some times where you're going to want and or need a bigger chainsaw. And in my case, I was taking down a huge, it was 5 foot at the stump red oak tree that was just, many, many branches the size of trees. And so I wanted this as a backup. I had got a 3120, 120cc chainsaw, but it was a basket case when I got it, and I felt like it was going to be unreliable throughout the day trying to get that tree down. It did end up making it through. But I did use both the 660 and the 3120 for that tree. I was just down walking through the woods here checking out what the hunting game looks like this year, and didn't see anything. Saw a lot of trails and some hog ruts and stuff like that, but I saw several dead trees, like big red oak trees, that are going to be perfect for firewood and whatnot. The only problem is trying to drag them up out of the woods with the equipment I got, So a chainsaw like this is perfect for that, right? You've got to cut down this big tree, and then you've got to buck it up into chunks that you can move around, so on and so forth. This one here is one of the only Holzfforma chainsaws that I've purchased. I've purchased 3. This is the only one that's actually been a good chainsaw. So we are going to run it today. I've got some big chunks of red oak on the ground I need to cut up into rounds and then rip them in half because they are too big to move by hand. So let's get this thing fired up and get at the wood pile. Alright, man, we are out here at the wood pile, and I've got the G660. This one here is going to be every bit of like a 30-inch cut, or somewhere thereabouts, about 6 inches sticking out. But this size is really too heavy for most kind of normal work, right? So let's see how it's going to start up. I haven't started this one up in a while, several months at least. I think I was probably playing around with it. This is one I keep up by that big tree, but I'm not really using it up there. It's just kind of in the way. Like I said, it's not something that I'm going to grab a lot of the time. It's 10 pounds heavier than, a saw that's 20 less cc that'll do the job. So that's kind of the reasoning there. Not terrible, not great either. this. I just blew on the lens and got sawdust in my eyes. So all the PPE in the world, you know, I had a funny comment the other day, somebody saying, you know, it's impossible, or no, it was a guy from Germany, and it was in German, and he said, you know, the commenters in Germany would say that you can't even do this without killing yourself the way that you're doing it, you know. And he was under a different old school kind of mentality, similar to me, where, you know, I come out here, I'm not running all of the recommended PPE, but I get the job done, and the work gets done, and I don't get injured, except in the case where I'm trying to lift up a gigantic round or blow off the camera lens and get frickin' sawdust in my eyes. You know, so there's hazards all around you. I'm the most cognizant when I'm doing something actually dangerous. You know, this machine, I treat it with respect and care, and use it in a manner where I'm not putting myself at risk for kickback or getting hit by the chain or whatever. And I've been doing it, like I said, I used to have a firewood business on this property when I first got it, and I may start it back up again, because walking down through the woods there, I mean, I can see a tree right here that's, the top is broke off of it, just huge oak trees. One down there that's probably every bit of this size that had been struck by lightning and had the, you know, anyways, lots of wood, so, and lots of experience running chainsaws. This one today is running excellent. It performs phenomenally. It's fun to run. It comes back to idle. It does everything I want it to do. It's got the Taijin Walbro carburetor on it, which seems to be running fine. I've done a couple minor modifications to it. Timing advance, took out the baffle and the muffler. Really not too much else. I've got videos on it, you know, as I'm running the saw and making some upgrades to it. Oh yeah, upgraded the oiler. I actually did. There's not going to be a video up here because I don't know how to do that, but if you go back on my channel, subscribe, you can find it where I do a high output oiler upgrade. The oiling was not great on this saw. It is much better now that I've got that upgrade done to it. You can actually open that oiler up all the way and get a better flow. But yeah, it's performing awesome. Let's rip a couple more of these rounds up with this big old monster. Yeah, another key ingredient to a good woodyard or log pile is having your burn pile right up here. So like all this stuff, I can throw and hit my burn pile. There we go. All right, let's cut up this one. This one's got this big old burly knot in it, so I'm going to come through like right here. Let's see how she restarts. Now this is one where it's nice to be able to do the left-handed drop start because it doesn't have a half throttle. And I don't know if the regular steels did that, but this one definitely does it. So let's try it without. Well, that was a successful day in the wood yard, that's for sure. This stuff here, don't dismiss this stuff. I've got a trash bag, and I'm going to come out here, pick all this stuff up, and keep a trash bag of it beside the wood stove. This stuff is amazing kindling for your wood stove. Keep a handful of that and get some. I mean, that's your fire starter right there, right? Don't go throwing that away. But yeah, that's the G660 Pro. Another successful day up here in the wood yard on the wood pile with this chainsaw. It is a great saw, and it's going to be super handy in taking down a lot of these bigger trees that I've got dead on the property here. So anyways, that's going to do it for today on Man Time. Get out there, have you some man time too.